Yo, YouTube! I'm back with another episode of my 30 teams in 30 whatever. Or 60 days, whatever it is that it's going to be. It's going to be fun and exciting, and I am very excited to be recording this episode. Why? Because it is about my team, the Brooklyn Nets. This is like for like beers and stuff. It's pretty cool. Shout out my girl. Okay. This one is going to be a little longer than the other ones, I think, but it also might not be because there's really not much to talk about. I just think I need to talk about my Brooklyn Nets for a reason, and then let me go here and find my team real quick. The Brooklyn Nets have not made any moves in the offseason, and yet they have been mentioned a lot in this offseason. But the biggest move that the Nets made was trading Joe Harris, my guy, the person that my girl secretly loves more than me. Because he is a beautiful man, and we all know this. But yeah, the Brooklyn Nets traded away Joe Harris and a second round pick, I believe, for a second round pick. It's really just to get under that luxury tax, which I completely understand. It just sucked seeing him go. It was also shout out goodbyes to my boy Seth Curry, who ended up going back to Dallas to play alongside Kyrie for the third time in his career. It's pretty dope. But yeah. Anyway, the team itself. Let's go over the roster, and then let me talk about what I believe the actual lineup is going to look like. We got Royce O'Neal, Dariq Whitehead, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Dennis Smith, David Duke, Darius Baisley, Lonnie Walker, Ben Simmons, Armani Brooks, Daron Sharp, Noah Clowney, sorry, Cam Thomas, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Wasn't Armani Brooks? Is that the kid that we drafted, or was he in Philly last? Where was he at? I forgot where he was. Wasn't he somewhere in the league last season? I don't even know. Anyway, the lineup that I believe that we will be rocking with, and yes, this is because I don't believe in Ben Simmons yet, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. Uh, I believe this lineup is going to be Dinwiddie, Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, and Nicholas Claxton. Basically, the same starting lineup as last season, second half of last season. Off the bench, DSJ, Cam Thomas, Lonnie Walker, Royce O'Neal, and Ben Simmons. And then the guys who won't be getting minutes, who I believe deserve minutes somewhere, down the line, Armani Brooks, Daron Sharp, Noah Clowney, Jalen Wilson, and Dariq Whitehead. I mean, that's a whole other five-man rotation that we can rock with. Um, shout out those guys. But Darius Baisley also signing. I do believe he'll be a solid addition with just in case of an injury or whatever. But I like what Brooklyn did. I think bringing in those two guys in Lonnie Walker and Dennis Smith just as potential like backups and Baisley as well. The guys that they drafted, they brought in Clowney, who's a good rebounder. He's also a good hustler, and a potential. And I hate to say this, a potential Claxton replacement, because my biggest question mark for this team is, will you be giving Nicholas Claxton an extension? We saw how well he played with Kyrie and KD, so we know what he can do with a lot of star power on the team. But after, we also saw what he can't do with less star power. So, would you want to pay him up to like 25 plus a year? I wouldn't. Now, something along the lines of 15 to 18 million, absolutely. I feel like that would be a steal. I feel like that'd be perfect. But the market is open out there for him because he is an unrestricted free agent. And so they need to really decide what exactly they want to do with that. Um, but yeah, there's my biggest question is that where are you heading with Nicholas Claxton uh this coming off season? Because I mean, you don't really want to keep him, if I'm being honest, unless he's playing with two other stars. Like Mikal Bridges can be that star, and I believe he's going to be an all-star this season. We saw what he did after the trade. I think he can do it. More offense, like on his shoulders, I guess that he's gonna have to provide for us. I feel like he can do that. And definitely on the defensive end, he's one of the best. So I don't see why not. The whole Dinwiddie thing, I feel like he has to go, whether it's a trade or this is his last season here. He's just not going to be good for us, especially as a starting point guard, which in turn turns into the Ben Simmons saga. We see a lot of this stuff going on in the internet saying, "Oh, Ben is ready." McCall saying, "Oh, Ben is like that. Ben is him." Is he though? I don't think so. Not yet. Not until I see it with my own eyes. But as big as a critic I have been about Ben Simmons, I'm also one of his biggest lovers, man. I really feel like he and pause. I really feel like he can really be a part of this team. Like be that old all-star Ben Simmons. I genuinely believe he can do that. My only issue is if you start him, you can't start him alongside Claxton. At least not that you can't, but you shouldn't. But they will. That makes sense. And that means those other guys and Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson need to step up. And then bringing in Dennis Smith Jr., whether he plays or not, I just love that pickup. I mean, like I said before, I love the Lonnie and the Baisley pickup as well, but the Dennis Smith Jr. pickup is just he's had such a weird career. So much promise when he was that eighth pick in Dallas, and he played really well. And then drafting Luca, and you can see the divide in Rick Carlisle. Like he loved Luca. He didn't care about Dennis Smith. So then Dennis Smith getting traded to New York for Kristaps, we saw how like it affected him mentally, and it just he wasn't that dude in New York. In Detroit, he wasn't that dude, and it wasn't up until this season where he lands a 1 year deal with Charlotte. He really shows us like, oh snap, like this kid is actually nice. And not only is he a good player solid player offensively, he's really good defensively. So excellent pickup for the Nets that need defense. I feel like the one thing they still haven't addressed is that, that rebounding and defensive minded toughness, which I feel like DSJ will bring a little bit of when it comes to the defensive minded toughness, but not the rebounding part. Clowney can definitely help out, but he's a rookie. You want to develop him as much as you can in that G League and spotty minutes here and there, but I don't know. As for, oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't even give a grade for Boston. Whatever. I'll give a grade for Brooklyn. The Cam Thomas thing too is also interesting. I mean, I don't want to start him, but I feel like he'd be great off the bench. Who knows if that's really what he wants, but that's what he needs. And Jacques Vaughn is going to be really heavy, like, annoying him and stuff, but it makes sense. Here is my other thing. Let's say Ben Simmons doesn't work out, which I hope that's not the case. But let's say he doesn't work out. And Dame is still out there. But Dame wants to go to Miami. What if a trade that involves Dame going to Miami, rerouting Tyler Hero to Brooklyn, wouldn't that be a big, you know, pretty big deal for the Nets? I mean, getting a guard in Tyler Hero, uh, you know, getting a center somewhere, whether it's free agency or having to rely on these rooks, even Ben Simmons as a center, if that even means anything. But I mean, I don't see why not. I don't see why Tyler Hero can't be that that player for us. Like even in Anthony Simons or even Dame himself. I mean, I don't think Dame is gonna do it, but just another guard that can really, really help us out. Um, Again, this is all barring if Ben Simmons isn't that all-star type Ben Simmons that people are saying that he might be. I don't see that he might be that. Um, but who else would you want to trade for? Like, what other guard is out there that you're like, oh yeah, we can get him with the assets that we have? Because remember, we do have not only do we have Phoenix's first round picks, we have Dallas's first round picks. So we have tradable assets. We have tradable contracts. Dinwiddie's on an expiring contract. Dorian Finney-Smith, I believe, only has 2 years left. Royce O'Neal, value contract, $8 million. Um, the Simmons contract obviously is hefty, and the Cam Johnson is new. And the Claxton one, I mean, even if it's a trade like you trade Claxton for Anthony Simon straight up, why not? Like just another guard that can really, he can not only shot create but create for himself and create for others. Like, just that's what I'm looking for with Brooklyn. That's the one area that is really lacking on this team, besides the defensive minded rebounder you know. But Ben Simmons can be that. Ben Simmons can be that defensive minded rebounder that can also play make. Maybe he won't create for himself, but he'll definitely create for others. And I feel like that's super important for this team. So who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? I'm excited to see. As a Brooklyn Nets fan, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with Dennis Smith going in there. Mikal Bridges being like one of the best players in the league. Hopefully he's averaging like 22, 23 points a game. How could he not be an all-star if he's doing stuff like that? Um, what's gonna happen with Claxton? What other tradable contracts do we? I mean, what other tradable contracts will we use? You know, I feel like we will. We definitely have a lot of room for improvement in this team. So I'm excited to see what's going on with Brooklyn. The grade that I give them, I didn't give Boston a grade in the other episode that I did, but whatever. I can care less about Boston. I gave them an F. Brooklyn, I want to give it, and I did this to Atlanta, so I'm gonna give them a B. Yeah, I didn't see anything, special that they did. Um, B plus and a half. No, B and a half. Half a plus. That's a minus. So B. I'm just giving them B because I really the Dennis Smith Jr. pickup is I love it. Lonnie Walker I also love. Darius Baisley I don't care for, but I love those two additions as like just in case, especially if we make a trade. They're going to be really good rotational players, including Baisley. That's why I don't mind what we did this offseason. And it's still not done. Who knows what's going to happen? Potentially a trade that involves Tyler Hero, Anthony Simons. Um, I don't know. What other guard is out there? I don't know. But they can definitely make a trade and it can really, really improve our roster. And I don't want to say contenders, but definitely top six. And if we're top six, it saves our pick from going to Houston and them drafting another player that they probably won't even utilize correctly. So I'm excited to see what the Nets have going for them. And shout out Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson for embracing their roles in Brooklyn. I feel like they're going to be really, really great here in Brooklyn for many years to come. So I'm excited to see what's up. And with that, I'm going to let y'all go. Peace.